Love is in the air. We discussed the first time someone offered their heart to someone actually, as many others give their hearts metaphorically. The first human heart transplant was successful, the early hours of December 3, 1967. Leading a vast medical team, top surgeon Christian Barnard was ready to make history by transplanting a heart from one person to another. Denise Darville was knocked out by a drunk driver in Cape Town, South Africa, the day before while crossing the street. After being rushed to Groote Hospital in Cape Town, doctors determined she was brain dead and would likely never recover. Unfortunately, Denise's life would end, but that may not be the case for others. A 54-year-old man named Louis Washkansky was hospitalized for months after a catastrophic cardiac attack that left barely a third of his heart working. Barnard proposed an intriguing idea to Denise's father. He stated that his daughter would never survive without life support, but her heart could save Washkansky's life. Apparently, her father was a man of great character and dignity. He encouraged donations to the Groote cardiac unit before the funeral and requested pity from the magistrate during the sentence of the drunk driver who killed his daughter. Barnard promised the father and transplantee an 80% success rate, which has been condemned as unsubstantiated and misleading for a groundbreaking and difficult technique. Barnard didn't only pull his confidence from his butt. He combined technology advances with surgical skills in South Africa, Britain, and the United States to achieve this. Cape Town University awarded Barnard a PhD in 1953. After becoming a doctor, Barnard conducted tests on dogs to determine the etiology of intestinal atresia, a birth abnormality that causes life-threatening holes in human fetuses' intestines. Barnard was offered a 2-year scholarship to study under Owen Weinstein, a world-renowned surgeon said to have saved over 1 million lives by his death in 1981. Barnard collaborated with Norman Shumway and Walt Lay, who later pioneered transplantation. After returning to South Africa, he became chief of the experimental surgery department at Groote Hospital in Cape Town. Barnard was fascinated by the account of Boyd Rush, who received a chimpanzee heart in 1964, but only survived for 1 hour and never regained consciousness. If a heart from a different species can sustain a human for an hour, what could another human's heart do? In the early morning of December 3, Barnard, his brother, and 30 medical professionals began the 5-hour operation. Barnard stated that a dying man faces no tough decision as he knows he is nearing the end. Interestingly, Barnard was taking a Saturday snooze at home the day before surgery. In the morning, he changed the operation process from his previous year's practice. The next day, the surgery began and was successful after 5 hours. This event gained Barnard and his patient global attention on the spot. This is still one of the most widely known medical incidents. Although the ovation was insufficient, Washkansky died 18 days later. Of the 100 procedures performed globally that year, only 30% of patients survived beyond 3 months. In the following years, only one Stanford Medical Center attempted transplants in the US, due to poor outcomes. In Barnard's second attempt the following year, the patient survived for 19 months post-surgery. In his sixth effort, 3 years later, the patient lived 23 years. The 1-year survival rate for cardiac transplants was above 60% from 1974 to 1983, but has since dropped to 36%. Today, the 1-year survival rate for cardiac transplants is 90%, decreasing to 72% after 5 years. As you celebrate Valentine's Day, remember the operations that allowed you to give your heart to someone. Please like and subscribe.